What's up, everybody? Your boy Forexfunded here, coming at you with another weekly analysis on gold for this upcoming week, September 14th, 2025. As always, links will be in the description. Join our Discord to receive all my analysis, trades, education, chat room, all that good stuff. My Instagram, to see what we've been taking throughout the week. We're coming off a banger week, over 1,000 pips sent. So let's see if we're able to get another banger week. I will warn you guys, I got a new computer and I got a new mic and I tried to fix some OBS settings. So I'm hoping the audio is better for you guys than it has been in some of the past videos. But as always, I'm gonna need your input, because for me the audio has always sounded good, but apparently some of you guys say it is garbage. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So as we all know, I just deleted that last buy we had from the week where we were targeting a lot higher than we got, but we ended up coming towards the 4-hour lower high area and rejecting, so we got out. Okay, that's fine. So for right now, I'm just going to get rid of all these boxes. And we're basically, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to do our top-down analysis starting on our weekly chart just to see where we are, in relation to our range points. We can see that we rejected the midpoint of our range from 35.75 to 37.35. Overall, I do believe we're going to see, with this leg up, I believe we're going to see around 38.55. But we rejected the midpoint of our range last week, so that does hint to us that it might be time for a little bit of pullback towards the bottom of the range. Going over here to daily, you can also see, ever since this higher low, it's just been straight bullish with not a lot of pullback, but we've been making it work. You can also see that we have 1, 2, and 3 rejections from that midpoint, so it does seem fairly probable that we will travel down towards 35.75 area. Obviously, there are going to be other hurdles in the way for us to get there, and obviously, overall, we are bullish. We have interest rate news this week. Basically, this entire move is them pricing in the rate cut, so I don't really know how the actual rate cut itself is going to do for the market. I did tell my Discord that the way I see it is there are 2 things, or 3 things I believe it was, that I'm going to be looking for, and that will there are 2 things that will make a massive pump, a massive dump, and there's 1 thing that will cement a further bullish sentiment for the year, and I'll share that with you guys now. And that is, if we're going to expect a massive pump, in my opinion, we're going to have them cut rates by more than everyone's expecting, right? A massive dump would be if for some reason they don't cut rates at all. No rate cut, this motherfucker's going to fall like a fat bitch jumping out of a plane. I don't know. Couldn't think of one. And then the thing that will further cement bullish price action is if in the speech, because they talk afterwards, right? Mr. Powell will come and talk. If they talk about having further rate cuts, that this is just the first, that will cement a long-term bullish, trending bullish market. Obviously, I'm always bullish on gold. This price action is always bullish, even if you're, short-term bearish because you're pulling back. It's still bullish, right? You're still bullish. Here's your higher low. Here's your high. You're not breaking it. You're not doing that shit anywhere. There are very, very few times where on a daily chart you are making, lower lows. Right here is one of them. Right there are times, but I, for the most part, am bullish on gold 99% of the time. So we have to see what happens there. Now, if we look at where the week opened last week, the week opened here. So that'd be the first thing I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at what is the weekly fib looking like on gold. Since, with these massive pumps and everything, it hasn't been giving us time and room to get a nice big structure pullback, from like a higher high, from your higher low to your higher high, right? And a bullish fib. We haven't been getting a lot of those. So this is the first thing I would look at, is the weekly pullback. Weekly pullback, we can see that after we made the high on Tuesday, we came and respected our golden zone, which is, we took some buys down there. But you can see, like I mentioned, the respect for our midpoint magnet is kind of hinting that we might want some downward movement. And at the same time, we do have 2 days until interest rate. So they could push price down just so they can buy up at a better price. Now let's take that same fib and let's go from our daily higher low and see what we got. What we have is our golden zone in 2 key places, right? 35.93 is very close to the midpoint of this $40 range. Midpoint would be 95, and our 61 is at that range point. So if we were to get that pullback, that for me is why this would be a good buy zone, right? Obviously, don't just hop in a blind buy because we tap 50. You're going to want to see some price action. Respecting it, you're going to want to see some rejections. And at the end of the day, in my range point fib video, I taught y'all how you can catch a reversal. That's kind of what you would use there. So for now, we'll get rid of that fib. Let's go down to 4 hour and see what we see. So here on 4 hour, on Friday, I was really going to love 2 things, both of which didn't happen. First one would have been this lower high to have been broken. It was not broken. Second one was, if you get the break of the lower high, was going to be a daily close above our range point. We did not get that. So first thing that we want to think about is, does this mean 100%, or does this setup make us think we are going to fall down, right? Yes, it does, right? Because we are leaving a second lower high after a lower low. So technically speaking, that means you should come and make another lower low. You should break this low. But you guys know how gold is. We might not. This could be a big W pattern. But with that being said, take a fib from your low to your high and see if we can maybe get a nice golden zone pullback. Right? So there's our 2 buy zones for the week. Anything outside of those 2 zones, we're just gonna have to take based off of current price action, and we'll have to see. For instance, we could come down and make sort of like a double/triple bottom down here. You could argue maybe it'll be 7-8. I don't know, right? And then at the same time, we do want to mark up our lower high, right? I'll mark that up with a blue line, because once we break above that, that is cementing your further bullish price action, right? At least to the high. But even then, that's about a 200 pip range. So that's, those are 200 pips that we would love to catch. $17, 170 pips. But if we end up breaking that, right, for instance, if market opens up and it gaps up and it gaps above it, or just gaps up a little bit and then we end up shooting above it, then what I would be looking for is a push up to somewhere around, -2.7 or whatever, a retest of that general area and further buys, right? And if you think about it, if this is our low, and if you could think of these as higher lows, depending on if it just shoots, but if not, and if you're not going to consider these higher lows, you could still just look for the fresh higher low to be made. Use fib to try and help you, or use the prior tops as support and resistance mixed with the range point, right? So those are the 2 things that for now that I'm going to be looking for. The break, or either of our either of our buy zones to hit, right? I don't know which one's gonna hit. I don't know what price is gonna do, right? At the end of the day, I don't know any better than any of you guys, right? The thing is that separates me from you is I am able to act on the things that I see, and that doesn't even separate us. It's just I've been doing it for longer than you have. Most of the time I have, right? If you're watching this video, I imagine you're not like a 9-10 year veteran trading. If you are, congrats to you. It's nice to have you here with us. Me, myself, I've been trading since 2017. So I say I that's what separates us. I have more experience in the market, but it doesn't fucking help me at all with saying where the fuck price is going to go. Everybody has no idea where price is going to go, right? But all we have is what we would do at certain areas, or say our areas miss and price shoots up, how we would get into the next trade. So, like I said, if you like the way that I analyze, if you like the way I talk, if you like the way I trade, consider joining our Discord, right? I do charge, right? It's $100 a month. But there's a 7-day free trial, right? If you would have joined last week for free, you would have made over 1,000 pips. Myself personally, I secured 650 pips. I cut some of my trades short, because I'm on prop firms. I don't need to make 500 pips a day, but some of our trades ran for 300 pips. There was 2 trades last week that I said, I'm getting out of this one. Y'all can stay. I just want to secure my prop profits. I secured one for 85 pips. Motherfucker ran to the 300 pip TP. And then there was another trade. It wasn't it wasn't that big of a miss, but I secured it for about 130, and then it went to about 250, right? I'm not saying I have an amazing 0 losses. No, I think we took 3 losses last week and about 5 wins. Maybe a few less wins, but the profitability is there. Just come see for yourself. At the end of the day, anyone can tell you, oh, I can help you with this, I can help you with that, but not many of them will back that up. But I'm confident I'll back that up, which is why I offer my free trial, right? If you're serious about trading, if you're serious about wanting to learn, or literally just piggyback off of somebody else, there's no reason for you to not take advantage of a free week trial, right? If you don't see the value in paying $100 a month after a week, that's 100% fine. That's why I offer it. I know that the majority of the people, almost every single person who is serious about their trading career, about their potential trading career, whatever they want to consider it, I know that the value I provide is worth way more than $100 a month. So you can pay me $100 a month. You can go pay some dude who has 17 Bugattis and 37 million whores. You can go pay him $30 million a month for all I care. Anyways, hope to see some new faces soon. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and let's have a wonderful week. And as always, safe trading.